Hi guys, and thanks for tuning in. There was a question asked, what was one rule that I just did not like in prison? So I had to think about it, and of course there were a lot of rules that I just did not like. But there was one particular rule that I just could not stand, and I think everybody has to agree with me. So when they called, well, when something happens in prison, if someone gets sick, or if there's a fight, if there's an alarm that goes off, or whatever it might be, they sound off the alarm. Now, when they sound off the alarm, you have to get down on the ground. Regardless of where you're at and what you're doing, you have to get down. And so, you're walking and alarm goes off and it's raining. You have to get down. You have to get down to where one knee is touching the ground. For the pregnant women or the women who are in wheelchairs, they don't have to get down. It's okay for a pregnant woman to stand there. A wheelchair, most of the wheelchairs, they just sit down. With the walkers, most of them have the walkers. Now wheelchairs, they have the walkers, and the walkers have where you can sit down. So they have to sit down. Here in California, most of the time, regardless if it's winter, fall, spring, summer, it's hot. I hated that. You have to get down in the sun, 90, 100 degrees. You're sitting down, and it always takes forever for them to sound the alarm to let us know that it's okay to get back up. So you're walking, let's just say you're on your way to school, to work, to the child hall, wherever, and the alarm goes off. It's 105 degrees. You have to get down. It is taking so long, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Sometimes it takes that long, and you're down on the ground sweating in the sun. Let's say, for instance, it's raining, and it doesn't rain that often in Southern California, but let's just say it's raining. You have to get down. They don't care about anything but you getting down. And the reason they do this is, for instance, and most of the time it's because somebody is sick. Somebody is sick and they sound the alarm for the paramedics to come through. There is a hospital on site. There is a medical office on site. So there's paramedics. We have our own paramedics. So the paramedics have to come through, and they don't want anybody walking and expecting us to move to the side, get out the way, because somebody might not want to get out the way. They might want to get hit by the paramedics. So we have to sit down, get down, like move out the way. And also the officers ride bikes. So the officers have to come through. Let's say it's a fight. A lot of times the alarm goes off because there's a fight. And so the officers are riding their bike. They're speeding like cops. Zoom, zoom, zoom. You know, they're trying to get to the fight. So they want us out the way. And just imagine if it was a pregnant woman get hit by the bike or get hit by the paramedic. So they want us to sit down. You know, sit down, move out the way. A lot of the times that the paramedics need to come through, an officer on the bike will come and say, okay, they will give us permission to scoot over to the grass, get out the driveway, the sidewalk area, so the paramedics can come through. They will sound the alarm for medical reasons, for a fight, if someone tries to escape, or if an alarm goes off for any reason. There's so many buildings, warehouses or whatever, and if the alarm goes off, let's say for whatever reason, because in the back in the warehouse where we shop, the alarm would always go off. So the alarm would go off, and then they would sound their alarm to let us know to get down, thinking like, okay, I don't know. A lot of time, when the fall comes through, then they will sound the alarm, because when a fall comes through, then people try to escape in the fall because you can't see anything. So they don't want us to take this opportunity in the fall to try to escape. So they'll sound their alarm. Okay, that's another video. Okay, so a lot of times, like, the alarm goes off a lot. You're sitting down a lot. Maybe you'll be blessed if the alarm only sounds off twice a day. Most days, almost every day, the alarm will go off 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. So you don't want to be caught when the alarm goes off. Another thing, if the alarm goes off and you don't sit down, then you're going to get what they call a 128. And the officers don't play. They come over and say, "What are you doing? Why you didn't get down?" A lot of times you want to run. You want to run to some shade. You know, you want to run to some grass. You want to run to to cover yourself. And you're not supposed to do that. So, for instance, if somebody, instead of getting down immediately, they run to some shade, run to cover, the officer will come and ask you, "Why didn't you get down?" You say, "I did," or whatever, smart mouth, whatever. They will give you like a ticket, and it's called a 128. Now, once you get your ticket, you get a ticket. The ticket goes to, let's say, the head officer, and they decide what they want to do with this ticket, this 128. They can give you a verbal warning, they can give you a non-serious 128, or they can give you a serious 128. Now, if you get a serious 128, then what is it called? You will get more time added on to your time that you already have. So if you have a year left to serve, then they will add 6 months to that, or 3 months to that. So a lot of the times, the first time they call it a verbal, and then the second time the head officer will see, we're like, "Wait a minute, this is her second one. Okay, this is a written 128. And then it's, wait a minute, hold up, this is the third one. So this is a serious 128, and we're gonna add 6 months onto your time. I've never received I did. I was going to say I never received a 128. I did receive a 128. It was considered it wasn't even verbal. It was written. Because when I was in fire camp, we had to leave fire camp to go back to the prison if we needed to see the doctor for any reason. Now, when I first got to fire camp, I knew that it was okay to wear thermals under our fire gear, our uniform, because where the fire camp was located, it was cold. It was always cold, so we would put the thermals under our fire gear. Now, I put my pajamas on. I mean, my pajama pants were just like thermals. But once I got back to the prison, and the guards are mean. The guards are really mean, and they make us strip down. And so once they say, take off your pants, everybody had on thermals, and then I had on my pajama pants, and she was mad. She was so mad at me. "Who told you to wear those?" I'm like, I was cold. They're my thermals. There's a thermals, those are pajamas. So she threw them in the trash. And when I got back to the fire camp, our sergeant was made aware that I had did this, and they were very disappointed in me, and they wrote me up. And so one thing you can't do is you can't have like write-ups or strikes or anything like that. 128s, you cannot have 128s if you want to qualify for any type of good behavior program where they allow you to have time taken off your sentence to get out of prison early. And one thing was brought up in my committee hearing when I was considered for being early released on this ankle monitor, was I had a 128, but 128 was for wearing the pajamas. So most of the inmates do get 128s. They do get rolled up, and they do get rolled up for simple things like not following the rules. And one of the rules was to get down, and they want to run and they're hard-headed and they don't want to get down, and they don't want to get on 2 knees or whatever, and they give the officers a hard time. There's officers everywhere, officers riding on bikes, and they're mean and they're smart mouths, and they curse like sailors, and they don't care. They will call you names, and it's kind of hard to hold your tongue and not fight back and not give verbal. And if you do that, you will get a 128. You will get rolled up. So yes, one thing that I could not stand was to get down. I hated that, and I hated to leave fire camp to go back. Just even leaving fire camp and going back, you're going back to see the doctor, and from your from the truck to the California Fire Department, just to walk to the doctor's office, the alarm will go off. The alarm will go off, and you're not wearing the prison clothes. You're wearing your clothes, you know, because at fire camp we got to wear our clothes, and so you got to get down on the ground. So you got to get down on the ground. So now you're sitting on the ground. You're mad. Or you go and you have to put on a gown. You have to put on a gown just to go from the check-in to the doctor's office. So just a short distance you have to walk. They make you put on a gown. You cannot wear your clothes into the prison. And so now we're walking with these gowns on, and the alarm goes off, and now you're on the ground with this gown on. So that was a excellent question. Thank you so much for the questions. You guys, if you have questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, thank you so much for coming over, and thank you so much for watching my video, and until the next video, peace.